Hey, what's up, fighters? Fightman64 here, and welcome back to some more F-Zero GX! Last time, we played through the Master difficulty on all 4 cups, from the Ruby Cup to the Diamond Cup, with Ruby Cup with me playing as White Cat driven by Jody Summer, Sapphire Cup with Captain Falcon Blue Falcon, Emerald Cup as Sonic Phantom driven by the Skull, and lastly, Diamond Cup with Fat Shark driven by Don Cheney. And we dominated through each of those cups, even if they weren't perfect scores. Especially on the Diamond Cup, which I did very poorly on the final track, Phantom Road. But that was to be expected because I suck at Phantom Road Slimline still, as I said. Especially for Expert and Master difficulty. And now, there's actually one more cup for us to cover, and that is done by completing each cup on Master difficulty once, which is what we did for the last 4 episodes that was non-commentated. And to do that, we have to go to the customization option to select our track, which we unlocked in the last episode. And that will unlock us the secret cup, and that's what we're doing today. So, like always, before we begin, y'all could do me a huge favor and punch that like button on this video. I would really appreciate it. And also, don't forget to hit the subscribe button today if you're not a subscriber already, because there's still a lot of you watching my videos as a non-subscriber. If you're watching it now and you have not subscribed yet, consider to subscribe today, and let's reach that next goal of 700 subscribers and hit the notification bell if you enjoy gaming content such as this one. So, before we start the Grand Prix mode, as I said, we need to go to the customization mode, because that is where we're going to be unlocking tracks that we unlocked from the last episode. And to find those, we have to go to the item section. And there you will see that there are AX courses. There are 5 in total. There actually is one more, but we'll cover that later. Anyway, first is Screwdrive, Meteor Stream, Cylinder Wave, Thunder Road, and Spiral. Unlocking these 5 courses will grant us access to, I think you guys should probably know already by what it said, we have now unlocked the secret cup, the AX Cup. This cup is a reference to an F-Zero arcade machine called F-Zero AX. And there you can play the AX Cup. And it is actually possible to do it on home console. So that's what we're going to be doing today, the AX Cup. And this cup is really easy for the most part. But first, I need to choose a vehicle. And I think for the last vehicle I'm going to use for commentary, I'm going to use Bunny Flash driven by Lily. Another AX machine, aside from Fat Shark and Deathborn. I think Deathborn's in AX. I could be wrong, but whatever. Anyway, so these are the orders. First up we have Aeropolis Screwdrive, and this is a very short track. But like I said, this cup that we're doing right now, this one is really easy. And probably like the easiest cup out of the 5. Which is really funny to say because, with each difficult cup in order, you thought this would be difficult, but surprisingly for this one, it's not. And as you can probably tell, there are absolutely no speed boosts anywhere to be found, except for at the very end. Yeah, this track is very, very short. And in terms of having to beat the AI, well, you don't have to worry too much about them unless you're like using a bad vehicle by any chance. And Bunny Flash is luckily not one of them. And in terms of difficulty, no matter what difficulty you're doing it on, novice, standard, expert, or master, this cup should not be too difficult for you. And just like that, we're done. The track was very short. And the AI were not even close to beating us right there. Let's see who's going to be our rival first. And it looks like it's going to be Jody Summer, who's in second. Phoenix in third, Billy in fourth, fifth, John Tanaka, and sixth is the man in the awesome suit, Captain Falcon. Because we all love our man in the awesome suit now, don't we? He's awesome. Such a goated character Captain Falcon is. That's why I played him in one of the non-commentary episodes I did. Back when I needed full-on focus. Anyway, and now we enter to Outer Space Meteor Stream, which is actually a course I do like, honestly, because the background on here, it is really cool. And at this point in time, if you have a vehicle that's really good at sliding, then winning this race will probably be easy for you. And I say that as soon as my rival Jody passes me, who was one of the characters I used in the Ruby Cup Masterclass, and I did pretty well with her. Although I probably should have gotten a perfect 500 point, which Mighty Gazelle destroyed those chances. No thanks to him. Well, you know what? Whatever. It was like Mighty Gazelle was going to beat me in the overall standing anyway for the Ruby Cup. In fact, I could worry less about him. But yeah, as you can tell, there are some ice physics on here, which is what those things are called, just for your information. And getting on those makes you slide. This is pretty much perfect for vehicle like Mad Wolf or Spark Moon or Bloodhawk or anyone that has good sliding abilities, really. And Lily for Bunny Flash is a pretty decent one. And once again, dominated in first place. Haven't struggled much so far, but that may change. And I'm pretty sure Jody's still my rival after 2 rounds, and she is, but the standing has changed. Billy moved up to 3rd, Braithium shot up to 4th by a long shot. Captain Falcon moves up 1, and Zoda moves up by 6. Next stage. Next stage is Port Town Cylinder Wave. Now, Port Town Cylinder Wave. This track has probably got to be the difficult one of the 5, but it's not. But it's not anything too bad, really. So for most of the track on this one, you're gonna be on the outer side of the pipe. Kind of funny how you have a Port Town area where you're going inside a pipe, but on the AX Cup that you're going outside. Pretty hilarious, honestly. Maybe that's just me, but whatever. What you're also going to notice here is that there are some checkpoints placed across the track. And this is the first track that does it in in the F-Zero AX arcade machine. And for those curious, no, I have not tried the F-Zero AX Cup. Or, that's not, actually I said that incorrectly. What I meant to say was, now have I played the AX machine? No, I haven't, but I actually do know about it, because in the AX machine, I actually didn't know about this, but there is actually another way to unlock the AX Racer, if you prefer to not do it on story mode very hard, that is. Because really that is actually possible. It is actually possible to unlock AX racers like Lily, Bunny Flash, PJ, Groovy Taxi, Digiboy, Cosmic Dolphin, and some others, if you rather not go through the tedious process. But nowadays, finding AX machines, they're probably very hard to find, but you probably could find them at gaming conventions, if betting anything, really. And with that, that should be another first place for us, and it is. No duo beating us this time, because they were closing in. And it looks like we got quite a few crashers in our possession. Looks like quite a few crashed here. 4 of them. None of which were my rivals, but one was close. And now the standing has changed, and Jody still remains as my rival. But Captain Falcon is closing in on that spot in 3rd. The duo Gomar and Seal in 4th. Phoenix to 5th place. And the Skull to 6th. And now there's only 2 more tracks to go. And the next set of tracks are long. And this next track that we're doing right now, this is probably the 2nd longest track of the game. Lightning Thunder Road. And as you're going to probably expect, there's going to be some checkpoints that you're going to notice as we travel along. As well as some wide 90-degree turns. None of which are too bad, by the way. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. Notice how there's a little bit of zigzagging going around. Well, it was like I said in Chapter 3. 90-degree turns aren't usually a problem for me. Unless there's potential pit traps that with easy mistakes to make here and there. But this track in particular, it's not bad. I actually do like this track. In fact, most of the AX Cup in this game is not bad. Coming to think of it, it's a long track. But the next stage we're about to do after this is even longer than the last one. And that is no exaggeration. And heck, some people even call that track their favorite. Is it a favorite to me? Well, sorta. But the track isn't favorable for every pilot, though. And let's just say it's a little bit familiar with Meteor Street. In that sense. Some are very good at sliding, some aren't. And then you have some that completely aren't. In that sense. I actually did do Now, yes, and for those curious, yes, I actually did do a little bit of research on the AX machines, but I never really got to try one because those things existed when I was like, I don't know, under 10 years old or something. Because this game existed in 2003, and I was like 8 years old when this game came out. Like around 7 or 8. It was somewhere in between. And from the moment I picked up F-Zero GX, I fell in love with this game. And my love for that game just continues to grow. Minus Phantom Road. Because screw Phantom Road Slimline Stills. I love the Chapter 9 Story Mode one, but not the one in the Diamond Cup. And we are easily creaming the AIs here. These AIs are standing no chance against us on expert difficulty. Very far distant indeed. Very, very easy. Done. No racer was even close to me. They might be on master difficulty, but it'll only be on rare occasions. Most likely. And there's still racers that's still running their race. No crashes, surprisingly. That is quite unusual to see. Because usually Billy crashes in this one for some reason. I'm not sure why. Anyway, the next result. Gomar and Zio are now the rivals of mine, taking second from Jody. Captain Falcon remains in third. The Skull moves up to fourth. Phoenix remains in fifth, and Jody Summer fell from second to sixth. And there's one final race to be done. And victory is about for sure locked down. At this case, I may be getting the perfect 500 here, and it looks like it'll be more than likely with this next track we're doing, Green Planet Spiral. This track is the longest track in the game. The longest ever. Even longer than Phantom Road, Slimline Still, and the last track we did, Thunder Road. Lightning. So, there is a lot going on here. First, you're going inside a pipe, and then going on the outer rim of the pipe, the outside pipe. Splitting paths are also there as well. You also get to look at this beautiful skybox, which is what I can appreciate seeing here. But really, Green Planet is beautiful. In fact, a lot of the skyboxes in this game, in like certain areas, is beautiful. This game has such beautiful graphics, and honestly, someday I hope this game gets remastered. And who knows? Maybe it'll happen in the Nintendo Direct by the time I'm recording this. Also, side note, yeah, I am actually recording this run a day before Nintendo Direct Nintendo Switch 2 happens. Which, very excited for the console, by the way. And I hope you guys are too, because I do know that I am. And as you just saw on the very last section, there is yet a sliding section, and it loops around quite a bit. Doing well with Lily so far. This rabbit cannot be caught. Not yet anyways. Not even my once rival, Jody Summer, is keeping up. Kind of a bummer, really. I was kind of hoping Jody Summer would stay at my rival for the whole way through. But now the twins got it. Really a shame, but had to happen at some point. This game's so charming and fun. I know I say this numerous of times, but I really mean it when I say it too, because it just gives me so much enjoyment to play the game over and over again. Whether I'm having like a good day or maybe a bad day. It's kind of similar to how I feel with some Soul Calibur 2 and like Mario Kart games and other games that I love to play. Some that even some I already have left played just recently or like years ago. Even Luigi's Mansion's great. Wait, hoping for a new Luigi's Mansion, by the way, because I do love all three of the Luigi's Mansion games. I know I haven't really recorded 3 aside from doing a Halloween collaborative LP with Nintendo, but that's beside the point, and I turned way too early right there. Luckily, the result won't matter because it's a perfect 500 point for me. No problemo. No one came close to passing me. Sorry for going off topic, but I just wanted to give a little bit of my personal thoughts and opinion on the game, because it's visually charming in many ways. And I will forever call this one of my favorite racing games of all time. For as long as I live. Of course. But I guess while we're waiting, let's see who plays where. Which one's the lowest score and which one's the highest? I think it's pretty obvious from the standing. I get a perfect 500 point, scoring first place. It had it locked down no matter what. Jody Summer reclaimed second place after losing second to Gomar and Seal in the last one. And speaking of Gomar and Seal, they land in third. 329. Jody with 331. Fourth is the man in the awesome suit, Captain Falcon, with 315 points. The Skull in fifth with 275 points. 1 point ahead of Mike Gazelle, who placed sixth with 274. 1 point difference. And our lowest score, 106, led by QQQ. That is not 999, by the way, in case anyone's curious. And that's the end of the game. Time for the final result once more. A perfect score just like that. That was really easy. I wasn't kidding when I said that, after all. Time for a question by Dr. Zero, the one who's been interviewing us all this time in every Grand Prix. But which one will I choose is the question. Even I don't know.
F-Zero TV. Now I'd like to get up close and personal with the champion. Champion, I'd like to interview you.
Alright, what's our option? Kudos on your expert victory. What are your plans now that you won? How about the prize money? Best features. Best features.
What do you consider to be your best features?
This great body, all of that training has paid off.
I see. Thank you for the interview. And that's all for Adrenaline-Driven F-Zero TV. That's it, everyone. We'll see you at the next Grand Prix.
Great answer.
F-Zero TV.
Thanks for playing.
And for our reward, we unlocked the arcade course Sonic Oval. And why not? I think I'll show that off before I close this episode off. Because this track we unlock is exactly the same track that we raced on when we did the first chapter of the game, matter of fact. In fact, I'll prove it to you right now before we close off this episode. Just for demonstration. Sonic Oval, Mute City. This was the name of the track that we raced on when we did Chapter 1 of the story mode with collecting the capsule. And I think, to end things off, I'm going to choose my favorite vehicle, Hyper Speeder. And I think I will put this on 3 laps on expert difficulty, just to finish it off. Make it look like a actual Grand Prix. This is the reward you unlock after you beat AX Cup for the first time. Now the difference here in practice is that you are free to boost at any time you want to. You are absolutely free to boost any time you want to. What looks similar to... Yeah, does this track look similar to you? It should. Because this was the track that we first raced on when we started this Let's Play of F-Zero GX. Doing Chapter 1 Story Mode. With collecting all the capture from normal, hard, and very hard. Pretty neat detail if you ask me. This track I believe also appears in the arcade. And I just noticed I overlapped a few racers. At least 1 or 2. And that's it. That is Mute City Sonic Oval. Very short track. And just an oval shaped. Not going to talk about the rankings here because I don't feel that it's really important at the moment. Oh, it was John Tanaka I passed. Dang, John Tanaka is very bad at this course. But anyway, there you go. That is Sonic Oval Mute City for you. Very quick track and short. So, I guess on that further note, that's going to do it for this episode of F-Zero GX. And if you enjoyed this episode and you'd like to see me do more F-Zero GX Grand Prix runs in the future, don't forget to punch that like button. And next time I'll do AX Cup on Master difficulty without commentary. And probably try to do more Cup with different racers to get all of their miniature movies, because we still got a long way to go from getting all the miniature movies before we're finished. Now, doing all Cup with one racers in the future, am I going to do that? Well, maybe, but I can't guarantee you that it'll happen. But I will think hard on that, so bear with me. But thank you guys for watching this, and until then, I am Fightman64. See you all, have a good day. Game on, my friend, and take care. Goodbye, everybody, and stay safe. Adios.